Many Malaysians like to work in Singapore because of the higher salary. But the cost of living there so high, can save money meh? Well, previously we did a video talking about the average salary between Malaysia and Singapore. Many of you responded to it and shared your thoughts in the comments. Some pointed out that it's not fair to judge our development in Malaysia based on salary alone because the cost of living in Singapore is so much higher. It is impossible to buy a house or car in Singapore. So living in Malaysia is so much cheaper, right? Well, in this video, I want to explore this topic by talking about the cost of living between Malaysia and Singapore. Let's see which country is actually cheaper to live in, and more importantly, where you can more easily save money. Some of you will be in for a surprise for some of our discovery. Oh yeah, we are looking for someone to sponsor us coffee. Anyone interested? Anyone? To make it more fun and interesting, let's create two characters, two Malaysians, Frankie and Jasmine. Frankie works in Kuala Lumpur while Jasmine chose to work in Singapore. Both earn 4,000 a month, but in their local currency. In this case here, Frankie in Malaysian ringgit and Jasmine in Singapore dollar. We are not going to convert the currency into USD, but both currency will remain in the local currency because it brings a more fair comparison to the buying power of each country. So let's check out a day in their life. How much money will they spend? Both Frankie and Jazz like to start their day with the mee rebus for breakfast in the hawker centre nearby their house. The cost in Kuala Lumpur, Frankie paid 7 ringgit, while in Singapore, Jazz paid 3 Singapore dollar for the same plate of mee rebus. After their breakfast, they took the public transport to work. Since both of them are frequent users of public transport, they have a monthly pass. The cost is 100 Malaysian ringgit for Frankie and for Jazz, 128 Sing dollars. After a busy morning at work, it's lunchtime, so they both went to the McDonald's nearby to grab a Big Mac value meal for lunch. Frankie paid 15 ringgit and 60 cents and Jazz paid $8.65 Sing dollars. After their lunch, they decided to grab a cup of coffee from Starbucks on the way back. That's when Frankie had to pay 13 ringgit and 80 cents for a cup of grande size cappuccino and Jazz paid $6.60. That evening, both of them also went to dinner with their partner in a mid-range restaurant nearby their office. It was a 3-course dinner. Frankie paid 80 ringgit and Jazz paid $77. So far, it seems like it's much cheaper to eat out in Singapore than Kuala Lumpur, right? I heard you can easily get a plate of chicken rice in Singapore at around $3.50. Honestly, if you're earning a living in Singapore, $3.50 for a chicken rice is damn cheap day. Anyway, let's continue to our story of Frankie and Jazz. For the weekend, Frankie and Jazz both went to shopping. Why? Because their partner's birthday. So they decided to buy a birthday gift for their partner. The latest iPhone 12. Sorry. Latest is 13. They decided to buy older a bit because they cheapskate. Anyway, Frankie in Kuala Lumpur, he had to pay 3,399 ringgit for the base model of iPhone 12. Jazz on the other hand, in Singapore, the same iPhone 12 cost her 1,199 Sing dollar. So much cheaper in Singapore. No wonder people in Singapore always use iPhone lah, like so cheap like that. After getting the iPhone, both of them walked past Levi's and they decided to buy themselves a new pair of jeans. For Frankie, a pair of jeans in Levi's will cost him 300 ringgit. For Jazz in Singapore, she paid 99 Sing dollar for the same pair of jeans. This trip to the mall alone, Frankie has spent 3,699 ringgit. Basically, kinda like his whole month's salary there, all spent in just one day. Looks like Frankie really have to tighten his belt for the remaining of the month in order to survive. Jasmine, on the other hand, she spent about 1/3 of her salary so far for a day in the mall. Looks like she still got some money left over for the month some more. That evening, they decided to go shopping and get some groceries from home because gotta ikat perut, right? So cook at home. So they went to a supermarket, bought 1 liter of milk, a loaf of fresh bread, a dozen of eggs, 1 chicken breast, and 1 kg of apple. In total, Frankie spent 37 ringgit and 25 cents, while Jazz in Singapore spent $21.14 for the same amount of grocery. I don't know about you, but for me, the number tells me that the living cost for Frankie in Kuala Lumpur is actually much higher than Jazz, who's living in Singapore. When both of them earn 4,000 a month, looks like Jess is able to get more from a $4,000 salary in Singapore than Frankie's 4,000 ringgit salary in Kuala Lumpur. Jess gets more bang for her buck. Wait, some of you may be asking, what about accommodation? You haven't considered that yet, right? Because accommodation in Singapore is crazy expensive. Once you factor that in, confirm, Jasmine will spend more. So let's look at accommodation. For accommodation, Frankie lives in KL and he rents a studio apartment that is walking distance to an MRT station. Every month, he have to pay Malaysian ringgit 1,500. Jazz did the same thing. She rented a studio apartment that's walking distance to an MRT station, and she pays Singapore dollars 1,500 as well. Having said that, almost all apartments in Singapore is actually walking distance to MRT. Well, but on the other hand, actually, Frankie has a lot more choices. Frankie can choose to live in KL. He can also choose to live further away from KL and get cheaper rent. But then it'll be further from public transport, which means he'll have to drive his own car. But nonetheless, Frankie has choices. However, for Jazz, wherever she goes to in Singapore, it is still gonna be in a city because Singapore is a city itself. So it seems like rental, it's kind of the same actually, right? But what about buying a property? Many people say buying a property in Singapore is crazy expensive. It is impossible to own a property in Singapore. At least in Malaysia, you can buy a house. So let's talk about buying a property then. Well, a 4-bedroom HDB apartment in Singapore will cost you anywhere in between 300,000 Singapore dollar up to 900,000 Singapore dollar, depending on the location. What about in Malaysia? In Malaysia, to get a 4-bedroom apartment with similar neighborhood and facilities like a HDB, you will likely need to pay 500,000 Malaysian ringgit all the way to more than 1 million ringgit Malaysian. And in case you're wondering if the size of the property is smaller in Singapore, no, I'm referencing to properties that are around 1,000 square feet. Oh yeah, wait a minute, and guess what? Singapore's mortgage loan rate is actually less than 1.5% and Malaysia is around 3%. Effectively, after taking into account of mortgage loan, Frankie actually pays more for his property than Jazz. Let me give you an example. Say Frankie bought a 500,000 ringgit apartment in Malaysia and he took up a mortgage loan of 30 years with a rate of 3%. His monthly repayment will be 2,200 ringgit. So, after 30 years of paying for his mortgage, the total interest paid will be around 260,000 ringgit. This means the total cost for the apartment is 758,000 ringgit for Frankie in KL. On the other hand, if Jasmine in Singapore were to buy a $500,000 apartment in Singapore and took up a 30-year loan at the rate of 1.5%, her monthly installment will be 1,750 Sing dollar. And after paying the installment for 30 years, the total interest that she paid will be 121,000 Sing dollar. Her total cost for the apartment is actually 621,000 Sing dollar. The first time I found out about this, I almost fell off my chair. It's hard to believe that it's actually more affordable to own a property in Singapore City than in Kuala Lumpur City. Yes. I understand. If you were to convert the 500,000 Sing dollar into Malaysian ringgit, then it's actually a lot more expensive than Malaysia. But that's not the point. The point is the buying power. So if you're earning and living in Singapore, it's actually pretty affordable to buy a property. However, we can't deny the fact that Frankie in Kuala Lumpur actually has much more choices. He can choose to live further away from the city and properties there can be way cheaper. I know a friend who lives in Bukit Tinggi near Genting and comes to work in KL. What? Also, if Frankie wants to live on a landed property, he will be able to afford one depending on the location of the property in Klang Valley. However, for Jasmine in Singapore, well, she can literally forget about landed property unless she's ultra rich, because the average price for a landed property is around 5 million Sing dollar, and a bungalow will cost her 30 over million to 100 million Sing dollars. Now, the point I want to make is this. If you don't mind an average apartment, it's actually pretty affordable provided you earn in Sing dollar. But if you must live in a landed apartment, then definitely Malaysia is a much better choice. Oh yeah, what about cars, right? Cars are very expensive in Singapore. But who needs a car when you got such good public transport? Anyway, for the sake of argument, let's just talk about cars. You probably heard that it's super expensive to own a car in Singapore. There's all that COE, this and that, extra taxes and all. Let's take a look at a comparison between Singapore and Malaysia when it comes to owning a car. Let's say if Frankie wants to buy a Honda Jazz 1.3 in Malaysia, it will cost him about 80,000 ringgit. In Singapore, for Jasmine, it will cost her 80,000 Sing dollar, including all the COE, ARF, duty and so on and so forth. Again, if you don't convert this currency, the buying power is actually the same for a car. However, let's not forget the loan structure in Singapore, it's a little bit different. So in that case, Jazz will have to pay much more higher upfront payment to own a car as compared to Frankie, that all he needs to do is just pay a 500 ringgit booking fee and get his loan approved, then the car is his. But in terms of the actual cost for the vehicle, it's actually about the same in terms of affordability in two countries. I mean, you're going to pay 80,000 for Honda Jazz in Malaysia, you're also paying 80,000 for Honda Jazz in Sing dollar, and both are earning 4,000 in their own currency. The point I want to make is this. Many people have said that it's much more cheaper and affordable to live in Malaysia. That is true for certain states, but not quite true for Kuala Lumpur. It is actually much more expensive to live in Kuala Lumpur than it is in Singapore. If you're earning and living here, if you're earning 4,000 Singapore dollar and earning 4,000 Malaysian ringgit, you will be able to save more money if you're living in Singapore with 4,000. So some may be wondering, why am I still here? Why am I not in Singapore? Well, other than the fact that I really love Malaysia and the people here and the culture here, at least most of the people, I still think that Malaysia is one of the best places to live in, despite the buying power. On top of that, I personally think that there are certain opportunities that are unique to Malaysia that I love. First, although in Singapore, you have a much better buying power and the salary is better, but for me, the stress level there is just too high. Generally, Singapore culture is well known to be more competitive and kiasu. That's what people tell me lah, huh? Apparently, if you're a little bit more relaxed, you will be left behind. And in Singapore, you gotta be really, really competitive. Personally, I think the Singapore lifestyle can really take a mental toll on people living there. And that's what I've heard so far. You're kind of forced to be a workaholic, if not... So, that's not the kind of lifestyle that I want to live. I think the lifestyle in Malaysia is much more balanced when it comes to mental health. You can choose to be very competitive when you want to, which you'll likely stand out and do very well. But at the same time, if you prefer to, you can take a step back and live a more chill and relaxed life, and chances are you won't feel that left behind. In Malaysia, we kind of have that option here to define your own version of competitiveness and success, which I think is a privilege. Also, I heard Singaporeans complain them a lot one. Always kao bei kao bu. I don't know lah, I never lived there before. If you're a Singaporean watching this, or you're living in Singapore and you're Malaysian, tell us, what do you think? Is it really like that in Singapore? On the other hand as well, in Kuala Lumpur, although it may not be the best place to earn a very, very good salary, but it is a land full of opportunities. There's room for you to be creative and try new things if you want. There are more options in Malaysia and it can be done much easier. You can just take out a table, open a gerai next to a road or an LRT station, and then sell your nasi lemak there. Compared to Singapore, there's more rules and regulation to follow. You can't just rent a shop and sell nasi lemak. Although I'm not saying that all these rules and regulation are bad, it is actually good and it makes things much safer. I'm just saying in Malaysia, it's easier for you to try something new and you have kind of a little bit more opportunities here if you want to start a business. Another thing is this, due to the demographics and population we have in Malaysia, we have more opportunities for different types of business. And since business is about solving problems, you have more problems in Malaysia, which could mean more business opportunity to you. At the end of the day, I think in Singapore, it is easier for you to thrive and have a good life if you are someone who follows the rules and system. Like study hard, then graduate and work in a professional sector, then you can kind of do pretty well. Malaysia, on the other hand, if you just follow the system, study hard, get a job, that may not turn out to be very well for you compared to being in Singapore, at least financially. If you're willing to try new things, be creative and industrious, Malaysia actually has a lot of opportunities for you. And that's why even many Singaporeans will come to work in Malaysia or do business in Malaysia to take advantage of these opportunities. Also, at the end of the day, if you don't plan to be super wealthy, you just want to live a less stressful life and more relaxed, Malaysia is actually a great place. I don't mean any sarcasm, but let's face it, not everyone wants to be millionaire, and success is actually not measured by money alone. It's about the pursuit of happiness. So if that's the case, Malaysia can be a much better place in terms of being more stress-free. So if you're living in Malaysia, there are some tips on how you can deal with this cost of living thing in Kuala Lumpur. Actually, I know a friend who decided to apply to move back to Sungai Petani because of the cost of living in KL is just too high. He knows it'll be difficult for him to save money. So he took a job in a bank in KL which pays a Kuala Lumpur salary. Then he applied to move back to work in Kedah. Because the cost of living was so much lower in Kedah, he's able to save up money and enjoy a comfortable life there while living on a KL salary. It's kind of like working in Singapore and living in Johor. The same concept there, right? I thought it was a fantastic idea. If you're not a fan of city life, you can choose to live in other states other than KL. That lower cost of living can probably help you to save up much more. Like we say, it's kind of like working in Singapore and living in Johor. Well, at the end of the day, I'm a Malaysian and I'm proud to be one. I love this land, I love my fellow Malaysian. But I know that there's no perfect place. Every country has pros and cons. The reason that we're making this video is not to tell them Malaysia sucks or Singapore is better. We just want people to understand the place that we are living in, what are the pros and cons, and how to make the best with what we are given, and hopefully we can make a better choice to build a better future for our children, for our family, and ourselves.